Tournament silence.
Welcome back to High Sox episode 10. Sorry for that rude interruption to our regular intro. Episode 10. We're here with Ben, John, Mitch. We're talking Reds baseball. This is High Sox, low IQ High Sox. Hey guys, it feels like it's been a long time.
Yeah, I want to go on the record and saying that, Ben, you should say that every time. Golf tournament silence.
I just was anticipating it and I couldn't help it. You know, it's like it's in a song you're listening to. It's like your favorite part. You're like, I'm ready for it. I was just ready for it. It's my favorite part of the intro. Sorry.
Golf tournament silence.
It is a pretty like specific line that most broadcasters wouldn't say, but John Sadak is a man of many talents.
And
it's
weird. Because that was the game that, of course, me and Ben were at.
Is that the Ellie De La Cruz game? That was the
yes,
the first game for him.
Yeah, and first home run of his career. And just like looking back at that and hearing what that call was is always interesting. Instead of because I experienced no call at the moment, but it was a good call. I'll give it up to him. Great call.
Oh, I mean, yeah, it was great. That ball had a family. I mean, that's an all-timer. That's like an all-timer. And you could load it up. I think a lot of commentators look at baseball as a way to kind of interject themselves and their personality. For example, the Yankees guy, who I don't remember the name, always says "see ya" for a home run. But John Sadak is refreshing because he tends to do it in a silly, more approachable way. Instead of like, I'm gonna make up my legacy call that I use every time. See ya. By the way, horrible call. I think it's an ode to somebody else. I don't know. Ben could maybe shed some light on that. I think it's an ode to a former broadcaster. Okay. Either way, I hate that call. But John Sadak approaches this with such a kid-like, childlike wonder and exuberance, enthusiasm. So I do appreciate that.
I don't know. Yeah. Personally, Sadak is okay to me. He's fine.
I think what's your biggest gripe? Yeah.
Okay, I was gonna say it's his voice. I'm not a huge fan of the voice, and obviously, as a broadcaster, voice is incredibly important. Like I loved listening. I know you guys don't like him, but Tom Brenneman had a great voice for radio and broadcasting. He just sounded good. Like when you tune in, it's like Tom Brenneman's calling the game. Smooth. He may not have been the best broadcaster, but he sounded good. Same with Joe Buck. They just have a soothing voice that you want to listen to. Sadak doesn't have it. It's not terrible. It's okay. But he also tends to get like, I know he's kind of like mellowed out a little bit, but like he gets a little too excited for moments that don't call for it. Like if it's like a single, like an RBI single in like the second inning, he'll get like really excited. And I'm like, it's literally the second inning. We don't need to go there right now. That's where I'm at.
I get it. I mean, I don't dislike Tom Brenneman. I think that he made a pretty bad mistake. But as far as commentators go, I think he's a great commentator. I think he has a great he has a great voice. I think it's a classic Reds voice that we grew up listening to on TV.
Mm-hmm.
I think that overall, and we've talked about this before, how negative Tom Brenneman was.
Can you blame him?
No, I can't blame him. But when you're watching this team year in and year out, you know the stakes and you know that the team is bad. So it's like it was kind of hard when he kept harping on how bad the Reds were. And of course, he infamously made that comment about Reds fans staying up watching baseball, don't have a job or whatever it was. So I think he tended to be negative. But despite all that, I think his voice is great. He's a great voice. Yeah. He has a great voice for baseball, and it's a voice we grew up listening to. So I don't really have any problem with him as a commentator and the voice that he had. I get what you mean about Sadak. I think he was a basketball guy at a university.
Yeah, he was. I forget where.
As well.
I want to say Nebraska, but that's probably totally wrong.
That seems right, actually. I was gonna say like North Carolina, but I knew that wasn't right. Because that's too prestigious.
Somebody in the comments will put it.
Yeah, somebody's
Yep.
if somebody's
Yes,
listening to this, please let us know in the comments.
My biggest
Yeah.
gripe with Tom Brenneman, besides the obvious one,
Yeah.
is that one, Mitchie nailed it with like the negativity, and two is just that like obviously he's made some great calls and memorable calls over the year, but I don't know, he'd always find this weird way of bringing up something like kind of like weird about a player or about a
I know
fan.
what
He
you're
he
yeah.
talked about how big people were all the time.
He
Like
did actually.
Yeah,
to
but
a
from
distracting level, like Jesus Aguilar, look at the big fella. Like and
yeah,
oh, like some fan
he
makes a
had
catch of a
two
foul ball.
people.
The big fella makes the catch in the stands.
Yeah.
They were both inside the pants. How do you not comment on that?
He always be like, if we're gonna, I think we could probably put this in the edit, where like he kept showing the picture. I feel like it was multiple times during the broadcast. He brought up like a couple Brewers teammates putting each of their legs into one pant leg of Jesus Aguilar's
Yeah.
pants, and he, I think multiple times during the broadcast, asked the crew to bring it back. I was like, bring that back up. Oh, look at that. That's crazy. He had like a fat fetish, I think. Or
He's
something.
just a weird guy. I don't
He's a
know.
little weird.
Something
He's a little
about
weird.
him just
He's
just
yeah, he is a
a
little weird,
little
but
uncomfy.
to your point, like he did like love to interject, or he did love to like find roundabout ways to bring up certain topics that seemed
Mhm.
like he's like, oh, I want to talk about this. I'm going to try to talk about this on the broadcast. And I mean, I can't give any specific examples right now. He is a little wacky, but yes, great voice. I get what you're saying, Ben. Sadak, exuberant. I know, he brings that optimism that I think I kind of like. And but I have seen him kind of, bummed out. Like when the Reds were on that, they're on a couple stretches. That one stretch where they lost the 2 games to the White Sox, it was like you could tell it was kind of getting to him a little bit, where he was just like, and that's a ground out to shortstop, and that'll end the third or
Give
whatever.
it 5 years and he'll be shitting on the Reds on the broadcast. I guarantee it.
I mean, I don't want to break this man, because this man seems like, from all accounts, a great guy who fans have
Yeah,
talked
yeah,
to.
he's a great guy. Just not my preferred broadcaster.
That's fine. That's
Yeah.
I get that it's not the classic, like, because we grew up in an era that we grew up in the 90s, early 2000s, where some of those old like 70s, 80s broadcasters were still around. Like, Vin Scully was still in the league.
Mhm.
Bob Costas,
Joe Nuxhall, Marty
Joe
Brenneman.
Nuxhall, Marty Brenneman.
Mhm.
So we grew up in an era where those guys were leaving the game. They were about to leave the game. So now it's a little different. The broadcast, wherever they go to school for broadcast, I'm sure they're teaching them different things, different rules, different cadences, perhaps. I don't know. So it is different, I think, overall.
Yeah. That's a gripe I have with modern sports in general. Broadcasting seems to have come down a lot in recent years. I don't know if we want to discuss it now. Probably not, because could span multiple sports. But yeah, I just have a gripe with that.
You think the quality has gotten worse?
Oh yeah,
because
yeah.
I think it's just changed. I don't know if it's gotten worse.
It's just personal. It's just, I don't know. There's not like a standout broadcaster in any sport right now that I'm like, when they're calling a game, that I want to tune into. Like, I would used to want to, like, say Joe Buck was calling like a 4 o'clock NFL game. It's like, oh, Joe Buck's calling this as a Fox game. Like, I would tune in specifically just to listen to Joe Buck, because he was just entertaining to listen to. And I know a lot of people don't like him, but I thought he was peak broadcasting, especially for football and baseball.
Yeah.
But that's
He
just
still
Joe
does.
Buck's
He still
great
does
for
the Monday
football.
night games, right?
he does, but I think he does it with what was it, Troy Aikman?
ESPN.
Yeah, and who did he do it with on Fox? I don't know. I'm not a big fan of Troy Aikman, but
He did Fox with shit, Al Michaels.
was it Al Michaels? Well, there's another Hall of Fame broadcaster.
Yeah, he
Gets
doesn't
relegated.
He doesn't have it right now.
Not currently. Yeah, he's
Yeah.
definitely same with Bob Costas. Bob Costas was a great baseball broadcaster, but he's fallen off lately too. But yeah, this is a topic for another time.
It's a baseball podcast. We can talk about this shit.
Well, I want to give Al Michaels a break because the string of Thursday night games that he has had to broadcast, and they have all been terrible games.
Yes,
like none of them were exciting. None of them
in football, NFL.
Yeah, his Thursday night only on Amazon Prime games have just
fuck
been
you, Jeff Bezos, you piece of shit.
He's had very little to work with, and I watch a lot of football games in the season, and I would know. I'd probably watch every Thursday night football game, and he's just got nothing to work with. And Joe Buck, by the way, I did shit on Joe Buck a lot when he was doing commentary over like World Series games and playoff games. And that's my main gripe with him is what John Sadak has is the excitement level. Any home run that was hit in the World Series, he'd just say back at the wall and that's gone. Another home run with just zero inflection on anything. But football, I think he's been great.
Personally, I don't think baseball calls need to show the excitement or sports in general, but specifically baseball. I think you want to let the moment speak for itself. You want to hear that. Like, I want to hear the fans. I want to hear them react to the play. Like, obviously, you need to call what's happening, but you want to let the moment play out on its own. And I think Joe Buck does an excellent job of that. Also, if you go overly excited on every call, it's not going to mean as much when the moment is that big. It's just going to be the same as like a second inning home run when it's really like a walk-off in the ninth. Like I feel like he's saving his good calls for those big moments.
Maybe. I just want a little bit more when I think some of those moments did call for an increased inflection of some sort. And I mean, he's by no means bad. I mean, Hall of Fame announcer, like, and well earned. But
he probably gets too much hate.
Oh yeah,
sure. Yeah.
But he was pretty bad, like in the late 2000s. Like if you've ever seen his call, it was the David Tyree catch in the Super Bowl against Giants and Patriots.
I've seen that, yeah.
It's really bad. It's like he's calling like a preseason NFL game. I'm like, Joe, come on, this is like one of the greatest catches of all time. Giants are about to like, when David Tyree like has it on his helmet. It's like the Giants are about to defeat the undefeated Patriots and end their perfect season, and he's just calling it like it's, like I said, it's like a preseason game. It was really bad. I'm sure his bosses talked to him and he changed pretty quickly.
Yeah, he seems like a decent guy who knows the cadence of the moment. There is push and pull with like excitement and letting the moment speak for itself. Like I tend to hate when there's like a big moment. Like I like the initial call for like a home run or a grand slam, walk off or whatever, and then you kind of want to see that play out on the field and just listen to the moment and take it in.
Yeah,
I think Joe Buck understands that. I think a lot of good commentators will understand the moment to be silent. So there is a push and pull with it. But yeah, I mean, nothing like George Grand, popping off when Adam Dunn hit his line drive home run to beat.
I'm gonna leave the podcast.
One of the best calls in the game, right there.
Beat the Indians, was it?
Good God.
Grand slam.
Gonna be gone.
It's gonna be gone.
Like no.
Adam Dunn has done it again. That is a disgusting act by Randy Moss.
So we played the Cubs this weekend, right?
So we played the Cubs this weekend, and what are your thoughts on that? I think it kind of sucked.
Well, I was at the game on Saturday, so that was a good one
to go to.
Yeah, they won. Yeah. Other than that, the story of the series was blown leads.
Yeah.
I think it was what John and I, we were talking in the pregame lobby about, I think they had like a 5 to 1 lead in game one.
there's game one. We had a 4-0 lead,
Or
and then
nothing.
that turned into I think a 6-2 lead. In the fourth or fifth inning, that got blown up, and then in game three on Sunday, we had a 5-1 lead at one point,
And
fairly
8-3.
early on, 8-3, and then that was a game that I saw walking around Cincinnati, and I would see it in the windows of bars that we were passing, and I'd be like, "Oh, okay, it's, Tyler Stevenson just hit a home run, awesome! Like, let's go! Like, we're like just making this lead. Like, this game's being put away." As I walk through and see this game on these bar TVs. And then what do? I get a message from you guys in the chat. And it's just like, this game is fucking over. This sucks. And
Yeah.
I see the final score and I just can't believe it. To me, this whole past week, with the series against the Pirates and the Cubs division, big division games for us, need to beat the Pirates. Couldn't get it done.
Yeah.
Need to be competitive with the Cubs. You could argue that we were competitive with the Cubs, but those two games that we lost, the Cubs, are scoring over 10 runs,
Yeah.
and that's just unacceptable. They've been doing that to most teams in the league at this point, but when you have that early lead, you need a bullpen to, put their foot down and secure it, and they haven't been able to. And we can get to the Pirates later, but I feel like those losses are unacceptable, really.
Well, we did
Starting to
talk.
mount.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
We talked about it last week. We talked about it like that Monday. We were like, hey, first game we won against the Pirates. We'd love to get a second one or sweep them. And then I feel good going into that Cubs series. But guess what happened? We lost 2 to the Pirates. Go to that Cubs series looking pretty limp. Put up some, like you said, decent competition. It was a good fight. And finally, finally we got the offense going. Like, it was like, okay, we can hit the ball. Hell yeah. And then, of course, the bullpen blows the lead. So it was it's kind of a weird week because on one hand, you're a little bit optimistic about us being able to tally runs, and 8 runs, 9 runs, what is it, whatever it was. Yeah. It's like, okay, cool. Nice little lead, nice little cushion. So that's positive, but then your bullpen shits the bed. And even Pagan struggled tonight against the Royals. So yeah, I mean, it just sucks. It sucks. We set ourselves up for that Cubs series in a bad way. Didn't have the momentum going into that series. Glad you saw the win, Ben.
Yeah, if that means anything.
We're a game below 500.
Yeah, every podcast for either like a game above or a game below. They just it's going to be the end of September. We'll be like, well, we're 79 and 80. We're there. Just not quite good enough.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
but
I can't get my mind to wrap around how this team is either doing nothing on offense or doing everything on offense. And that's like, wow, that's where this team's strength is maybe not the rotation, but really this offense, because on a lot of weeks, and now that we have Green back, hopefully he starts to become, mount back to what he was before, not this 4-inning kind of like. I mean, yeah, he's getting back into it. He's getting back into the swing of things.
And getting back in the groove.
I said it before. I was like, maybe he'll go. I think it's going to be a bullpen game because he'll go like 4 or 5 innings. I mean, and that's what happened, and it didn't turn out great for us.
But I mean, seeing him and Lodolo, and then Nick Martinez has, put together a great first third of this season together.
Yeah.
You kind of feel like, hey, you know what, this rotation's pretty underrated. But when games, when we start scoring like 8 runs, like, okay, what is the strength of this team? It's definitely not both at the same time consistently. I know that for a fact.
Yeah.
So I don't know what they have to do to put it together. The pieces are there, but they're being held together by, flimsy Scotch tape.
You want to hear a depressing stat?
Sure.
Yeah, give it to us.
Maybe you guys saw it online, but the Reds are 0-38 in their last 38 series after losing the first game of the series. So if they lose the first game of the series, they've lost 38 straight series. So it's like they're not coming back to win these series after dropping that first one. It's pretty sad.
38.
Yeah.
I did
Not
not
good.
guess that. No.
Well, you should look at our record on like 1-run losses or 1-run games.
Oh yeah. And they comeback wins. Like I don't know this off the top of my head, but it's like less than 3 comeback wins on the year. Like if the Reds don't get the lead first, it's very unlikely that they're going to win the game. They just can't come back to win. I wish I had the stat in front of me, but it's not good.
Well, that stat goes a little hand in hand with, I believe, what I saw today, which is that to start this season, the Reds have had the easiest schedule.
I did see that.
Mm-hmm.
And now for the remainder of the season, they have the most difficult schedule. So for one game under 500 right now, and we should be really this is like a hot knife through butter part of the season. We should be doing much better than we are. I do not have hope that we're gonna even maintain this 2 games over under 500 into late in the year, late in the summer.
I agree with you, but I will say that like you never know when you're going to catch a team that is kind of off balance. So it could. I mean, that's a little bit arbitrary, I think, to look at those types of things. I think there is some credence to it. Like you can look and say, of course, the Dodgers are a better team. Of course, the Yankees and the Mets are better teams. But it just depends on when you catch them, and it depends on when you light fire. Right now, the Reds are neither on fire nor are they sinking. So I guess that leads to my next question. When does this team, or how does this team eventually get past this like threshold? So we talked about if we go into the All-Star break at a 500 team, I think we all agreed that's mostly positive. But then what gets this team into the next year?
For me, it's the response that the organization has at the All-Star break, trade deadline. If we feel like this is the team that we want to have and let's improve it now, then they're going to make 1 or 2 key moves for players that we need. That's my take. That's how we know that we're going to be improving, or as an organization, we are happy with where we're at. If like what I think is going to happen is that even if we are at a decent point in was it late June, early July, and we make no moves or we make a lackluster move that no one cares about and more cash considerations are being traded away, then like it's nothing. It's another rebuild. It's another wasted year for Ellie and for a lot of these young players. So I don't have much hope for that, but that's the one thing that I would need to see.
So you think that those acquisitions at the trade deadline, that's what's going to get us over this like 500 hump, or what should at some point?
Yeah, I think it's not even just about getting really great players on this team. It's also to show the guys that we have that we are willing to spend money to improve this team. All these guys want to win so bad, and it must be frustrating to just be at this kind of like mediocre level right now when a key bat or someone who can throw in the 7th or 8th inning and be consistently good and hold a lead down. Like those are key members of that team, and everyone would respond to it. It'd be a shift in that culture too. I mean, honestly, because when's the last time we made a big move like that? It was like Bauer, and that was
Matt Harvey.
Cool.
No, I'm not counting Matt Harvey as a big acquisition.
Wasn't he acquired at the trade deadline?
At the deadline, yeah, but he was also like 37 years old or something like that when we got him.
Decent for us.
I just learned that Justin Turner's 40. Did you know that?
Justin
Yeah,
Turner,
and he's on the
red-haired
Cubs.
guy?
He's on the
Like, what?
Cubs. Yeah.
Well, I knew he was on the
Yeah.
Cubs. I didn't know he was 40
I had no
years
idea.
old.
40. Yeah, that's insane to me.
He's older than Kershaw?
I don't understand. Like, dudes have
That's
been
crazy.
around. Yeah, I know.
I don't like him. I don't like the way he looks. Kind of bothers me.
You just hate that bit of pine tar on his back. And they
Yeah,
sold jerseys
yeah.
with that printed on
Well,
there.
that
He's
was
also
that was
sweaty.
a tribute to like a guy, I think, some guy that I don't remember.
He's always sweaty and just
his
gross looking.
like I'm not gonna get into it. It just sounds mean, but
But the Reds aren't gonna make any acquisition at the deadline that's gonna like blow our hair back.
No.
So,
It's just gonna be another Harrison Bader, Hunter Renfroe acquisition. You're gonna get a guy who's hitting 225, like 10 homers.
It'll be like one bullpen arm and then like a utility guy that no one cares about.
Yeah,
Sure.
It'll be
That's
like Michael.
like-
It'll be like Michael Conforto, and like Michael Conforto would actually be kind of okay, but it'll be like some utility dude who's
you
like.
say he's okay because you're a Reds fan, and that's like what you think would be a great move. It's not a great move.
It's not a great move if you're a fan of any other MLB team, or if you're a fan of.
But since we're Reds, we're like, whoa, Michael Conforto, holy shit.
Hell yeah, former Met, former Giant, holy shit, hell yeah.
We trade for Max Scherzer. He was good like 10 years ago.
Oh God. I mean, like it will be a bullpen arm because that's where we're at right now. I think like I know we can be negative about these two series that we just witnessed, but I'm gonna hazard a guess that this is one of the how do I put this? This is one of those series with the Cubs where we probably had the highest average of runs scored. If that makes any sense. Throw out outliers.
Sure.
Like
throw
for the
out,
season or like
for the season
currently or for the whole season?
For the whole season. I think this was probably a highest average of runs scored through the series. If you look at all the series we played, and yeah, we did do like a 23 or 20, what was it?
Like 22 or 24 or something like that.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
That one series. So if you throw out those like outliers would skew the average. I think that this Cubs series we had probably the most offensive production. So if you can take anything from that, it means that maybe we're starting to heat up. And today we scored 7 runs. So today, as in Monday, May 27th or May 26th.
Yeah, 6th.
Yeah. So I mean, maybe we're starting to see a little bit more consistency at the plate. McClain still hasn't been hitting, unfortunately.
No.
He's apparently, I mean, he's seen the ball a little bit better, maybe. I don't know, but that's been kind of shitty. Sucked.
Yeah.
So I mean, yes, the highest to get this team to a higher gear. I definitely agree. Trade deadline. Ben.
What is it, Ben? Then, like,
what is it? What is it?
You don't believe that? Like, because
I don't.
I don't believe that either.
Well, he's saying if they.
Listen.
Regardless of the moves they make, he's saying that that's what it would take.
Listen, it's not just a Reds problem. It's a baseball problem. Teams like the Reds, the Pirates, the Marlins, there's several teams that you could go under this category. They are happy with mediocrity.
Yes.
The Reds are happy just getting to 500 and having an 82, 81, 83 win season. Being like, well, we had important games in September. We were close, but we aren't quite good enough. They're fine with that.
I want you to qualify that because Tito's not going to be happy with that. I don't think Kroll would even be happy with that. But I think the owners are content with that.
Do you think... I don't want to... need to use my words carefully here. I don't know if Francona is like... has that fire in him that he did with like the Indians and the Red Sox anymore.
I've heard this.
Do you think? Like, I don't know how
I've heard this from people, but look,
did he just come back for like a paycheck, an easy paycheck, just to be back in the game? Or does he really?
He
I know he doesn't need the money, but does he really have that fire to go all in, give it everything he's got to win a World Series with the Reds when he knows this franchise and he knows they're not going to spend the money or they're smart enough to draft?
He was in the same environment in Cleveland, more or
Cleveland's different. Cleveland's different.
Cleveland has a better farm. Cat
they have
cameo.
A better farm. They have better
Cat
scouts. They have better management. They know talent. The Reds don't know talent.
But they're also dealing with another shoestring mid-market budget that Tito was a part of.
I get that, but the Reds front office, I don't know baseball as well as they do, and I never will, and I'm not saying it's just I've watched this team for 20 years. They can't draft. Like, we've seen it. They can't draft, they can't really trade. They might get lucky every once in a while, but as a whole,
we still have one of the top prospects in our top pitching prospects in our
okay, what does that mean? Right, we've had top prospects for the last 10 years.
I know, but in baseball.
Yeah, I mean, Nick Senzel was number 2.
I mean, that's just the nature of prospects. But to get back to your point about Tito, I think he, like, you know, we said it 3 weeks ago. We can't judge him until we see a full season. And I think that's fair. That's fair.
And
I would never hang. I would never hang. No, I wouldn't. I mean, what was it? What were we at last year at this time? Were we worse or better?
I don't remember. I want to say we were worse. Probably.
I think we were.
I'd say we're like 5 to 10 games under.
Yeah, that seems about right. We had a long losing stretch last year in the before the All-Star break. But I mean, you can't look at Tito. You can't hang it on Tito at this point because look at this bullpen blowing up. Look at our hitters who should be statistically hitting better than they are. You know, I think he's been dealt sort of a raw hand. But again, I mean, I don't even want to really talk about him because we just haven't seen a full season. And
no.
It's valid for you to ask that. And I've seen a lot of people say things like that, especially after the injury to what's his name, rookie, that he didn't like go out in the field and argue the call for the for on behalf of his team for the catch or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, that's been passed around, but I think he's always been like a mild kind of guy. Like he's not.
Yeah.
He's not a David Bell who would get ejected every 2 games or whatever.
But my point is the ownership group. I don't think they will ever go all in. I don't think they will ever put all their chips on the table and be like, we're doing everything we can to win a World Series or make a deep run. You don't even have to win a World Series. Like, I just want to see like competitive baseball, a team winning 90 plus games and having a deep run in the playoffs. Baseball is baseball. It's a random game. The best team doesn't win. I just want to see a deep run, and I don't think they will ever try to go deep. They're happy with like, oh, we squeaked into a wild card. Like that's their World Series.
Yeah. I agree with you. I totally agree. I mean, I can bring up that Pirates story about them being one of the more profitable teams in baseball because of how little they spend and how much they probably get in ticket sales, merch, whatever alone, licensing. So, yeah, I mean, I totally agree. That's the mentality of our ownership. But if that was off the table and this is like an ownership in the middle of a season going into the All-Star break in a month and a half or a little over a month, what does this team have to do to get past this like perpetual 500 if you are a good ownership group with resources?
I mean, where are we at?
Really tough question.
Yeah, I mean, I wonder how happy fans would be if we traded someone away who we feel like has had like higher potential on this team in order to get people with more, you know, a proven track record. Like, let's say we traded
get Trace.
Sure.
Trace Burns.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm
Like,
all for trading prospects. I've
yeah.
been for that forever. Trade a prospect for an established
Oh,
major leaguer
not
every
someone
single
not
time.
someone in their late 30s.
Honestly,
Like,
these
let's
are
get
these are
someone in their like late 20s.
these are
Yes.
pawns. At this prospects are pawns, and they're people
Mhm.
who have ambitions, and you want to see them succeed. But like when you're a Major League Baseball club, these are just chips to deal. Like
hmm
Yeah.
you can see it through and see them develop, but just deal it. Go for it.
Year after year, the Reds are like, or Reds and their fans, oh, we got this prospect, top 3 in baseball. Like he's coming up in the next few years, year after year after year, and they make their
Mhm.
debut and they fizzle out. Nothing comes of them, or they get traded and nothing happens.
Yeah.
It's just all the time like, oh, this guy's going to come up. He's going to be good. It just never happens, or he's just like an average 2 WAR a year player. You have to make these trades for the established guys. I don't know why we can't do that.
Mhm.
Does
Grease
it
some
cost them money?
palms.
Does
I
it
mean,
cost money? Like, is that all it is?
there are teams in way worse predicaments than the Reds right now, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Um, at least in terms of like their winning record and their winning records for the past couple of seasons. I mean, there's got to be a guy on a Rockies or a White Sox that is worth maybe something right now, but they're just not on the right team for it. And maybe not those two organizations specifically, but it's a team that would be more willing to like, let's build up our base of prospects.
Mm-hmm.
Let's like really start on that full rebuild and get rid of these guys who are great players, but they're not enough to make a difference on this team. That would be the move that I think I would want to see.
Yeah.
I'm totally good with that. And then we
Yeah.
need to like keep those guys for more than a season and a half or something like that. If they
Trade
work out.
trade for Paul Skeens.
If
It's
the
never
Reds
gonna happen.
no, it'd
Never
be
gonna
not.
happen. But
The
like,
Reds trade for Paul
yeah,
Skeens?
no,
That
it's
would be
never gonna happen.
insanity.
But like, if you were the
Yeah.
Reds, would you at least pick up the phone and call the Pirates and be like, "Hey, we're interested. Like, what would it take to get them? If it's too
I,
much, hang up,
I
like move on.
I'm
But
gonna
you
give
just
them
want to
some. Yeah.
no, you just need to know where they're at. It's worth talking to.
I'm gonna give them some credit. I believe those conversations are happening, but we can
I think
never.
we just don't get the
Yeah.
the tweet
We
about it.
can never. I mean,
Mm.
this is a team, an organization that went after Otani, quote unquote. So, I mean,
Sure.
Yeah.
take that as you will. I mean, did we really go after him? But we did like look into it,
Yeah.
and we made our little movie.
I hope they're
and
doing that.
I think
I
those
really
things are
do.
happening, but it's just like we're never going to be the team that.
Yeah.
I mean,
No,
who gets Skeens or whatever. We don't have that money. We don't have that.
No.
We don't have that purchasing power, whatever. So let me paint you a picture right here, and it's a depressing one. What if we go into the All-Star break
Mhm.
and we're 10 games below 500? What are we doing?
I don't think they do anything, honestly.
Yeah.
Just stay pat. Just like keep on going through
Yeah.
the season.
Yeah, and be like, well, we'll come back next year.
Yeah.
They'll just
Yeah.
repeat. They might add a bullpen guy and a bench bat in the off season, but it's going to be pretty much the same squad.
Do you think we see some big guy leave at that point?
I don't know.
What, a player? No.
Because they've got Francona for 3 years, so they're going to try and keep the roster as good as possible.
Yeah. I mean, and that's another part of the Francona discussion is, we've seen how he is working this lineup for sure. He's very willing to move people up and down the lineup depending on how they perform. We're seeing him with pitching as well. But we haven't really seen if he has any sway with these transactions. I think that's a big wait and see, because if it's David Bell, I don't know how much he's really, how many times does he get in the mic in those conversations and pulling people towards making a move towards a player. I don't know, but if you hire Francona, then they know that that's probably part of that deal with him is that he's going to want things the way he wants them,
That's
and
fair.
that's why you hire him. So I don't know if we'll find out.
That's fair.
Maybe not if we're 10 games under 500 by that point, but I don't know. We'll see. I'm sure he has an envisioned team in mind. I'm sure he knows who he would want, who is available, who he doesn't want, who we could trade. But I mean, we're not willing to trade people more than we're like getting. If we want a guy like Connor Joe, we're gonna trade a guy like Connor Joe and a couple, some money. That's
who do you
it. Like
think?
Mhm.
Who do you think would be available if they hypothetically were trying to unload players? Like they're not going to trade Ellie. They're not going to trade Hunter Green.
No.
Who's?
Stevenson? Trevino.
I mean,
Yeah, but are these like
Trina's not really like moving the bar. I don't think
Yeah,
that
they're
much.
not like hot high ticket items. Like
I like the idea of trading a Chase Burns. The name in my head that the Reds would maybe go to as like this is our best player that we're willing to trade is Lodolo, but I think that's a far cry from actually happening. But he's not the ace, and I think some teams would like to have a guy like Lodolo, and there is some perceived value in him.
Yeah.
oh, yeah,
And he's
I
young,
still like
you
him.
know. Oh yeah, I like him too, but
He's had a good year so far.
yeah, I think some teams would love to have him and be willing to give up a decent player or two for him, or who knows how it would shake out. But
So we assume that like we got Burns waiting in the wing. We got Chase Petty a little bit further down.
Fingers crossed.
mhm.
Yeah, Chase Petty hasn't been looking great. I mean, granted, he's young and he came in and he kind of got shelled. But that's what a prospect is. That's why you deal before you find out bad things about them. You know.
Mhm.
But anyway, I think the Cubs are good. I think that's what we learned from that series. The Cubs are really good. They have the most runs in baseball total. Most
Yeah, I was like,
run
You
differential.
have to
or
look that
something.
up. It's
I was at the
for sure
game.
true. Yeah.
I was at the game just like looking at their lineup on like the big screen, and like everyone was hitting like 270, 280. Couple guys in the 300s. Like everyone was just seemed to be crushing the ball. Like you're like, oh, the bottom of the order should be a nice. No, everyone's like hitting like 275. Like God, this lineup is so deep.
Yeah.
Give me
And
Pete
Crow Armstrong, man. Holy moly.
Yeah, what
That guy is just
fuck.
Pete
where'd he come
Crow,
from?
Kyle
Yeah.
Tucker,
Ian Ian
Like-
Happ and
Ian Happ just crushes the Reds.
he crushes the Reds all the time. And then what's the Morel?
Oh, Christopher Morel.
He plays every position.
Mhm.
They got that Japanese outfitter they signed a couple
Yeah.
years ago.
Seiya Suzuki.
Seiya Suzuki, yeah.
Who's we missed because I think he was on the IL the whole series there.
Yeah.
But who knows? He might be back. Let's not forget, after this Kansas City series, we're playing the Cubs again. I mean,
At Wrigley.
Is it
yeah.
in Chicago? Oh,
In
great.
Chicago.
We've kind of had their number at Wrigley for the past couple years, I think. So
yeah,
maybe.
we are looking forward. We're going to Wrigley, and then the Brewers are coming to Cincinnati. So it's a couple more important
Yeah, I gotta win
division series here.
Can we just fucking beat the Brewers one series for shit's sake?
This if it's any year, this is the
not
year.
now.
They're
This is
not
the
that
year.
good. Yeah.
Yeah, this is the year. I think you hit the nail on the head with your division predictions, Ben. I mean, it seems like the Cubs.
No, I had the Reds in second place.
Oh, you did? Oh, never mind.
Yeah, and that's
I mean, but you said
Don't give me too much
the Cubs
credit.
were in first place, right?
Yeah, but that wasn't a tough decision.
Well, I mean, the Brewers very well could be a third place team. I don't know.
It's still tight. Third away through the season, give or take. It's still tight.
Yeah. Memorial Day is a good like first benchmark of the season.
Mm-hmm.
This was a good this was a good benchmark. I mean, I'm a little bit more optimistic about the lineup. The bullpen looking bad.
Like we don't have anybody that you can really count on.
I'm out on Ian Jabot, by the way.
Oh, great.
Okay.
Sorry.
Glad we cleared that up.
Yeah. I was in. I'm out.
Like it was like a couple of years ago. God, why can't I think of his name? His brother in New York, the Mets.
Alexis Diaz.
Yeah, Alexis Diaz. Like it was a couple of years ago. It's like, oh, Diaz is coming in. Like this game's over.
Where is he?
Now he's in AAA, like just playing terribly.
Is he still? Oh,
yeah.
Really?
He's not doing good. Yeah. Every time I see a clip on Twitter, it's just like he gives up like a 2-run homer in the ninth and blows the close.
God. What a
like,
fall from grace that he is.
Yeah, I don't think he'll be back.
Yeah. Should have traded him before he got like this.
I think I said that in
2022,
and Ben was like, "Fuck no, you stupid idiot." But honestly, this is baseball. You know, you never know who's gonna fall off and who's gonna be good. And like at that time, he was dominating. In 2022, he was like one of the best closers in the league, probably. And
so we should trade like Ellie right now. If you're going off that logic, right?
Yeah. I mean,
because he's just gonna fall apart in 2 years. So
no, actually, I believe in Ellie so much. I
do too. I think we just put way too much hype on him.
Maybe, but he's going to be an above average player for his whole career, I think.
Yes, but when he came in the league, it was like, oh my god, he's the next Ronald Acuna Jr.
I mean, he was stealing home, and this is only his second year, right?
I get that. But do you think he's gonna get to be that caliber of player in like 2 or 3 years?
I mean, I look at Acuna's career, man. Like he was great. Is he gonna continue to be great? Like,
yeah, I think he just was hurt.
He had 2 ACL injuries. You know, it's like that changes you as a player.
Mm-hmm.
So
all
I
right,
don't know.
Is he gonna be like a Mookie Betts type player or a Mike Trout in his prime?
No, but were people saying that?
I think. Yeah, I mean, the hype on him was massive.
I mean, he hit 20 home runs and stole over 60 bags last year. So I mean, that's crazy for a rookie.
Yeah.
I think he win Rookie of the Year. Oh,
was it Pete Carroll?
Yeah,
Corbin Carroll. Why did I say
not
Carroll?
You got me all fucked up. I had it, and then you're like Pete Crow Armstrong.
Well, he also came in like midway through. He came in June.
Oh yeah, right? Yeah, he came in late. Yeah.
So there's
that counted as his whole rookie year. That's crazy.
Is that
maybe
right?
It didn't actually.
Yeah, I feel like we keep forgetting when he actually started playing.
I don't know the rule about like
how. Well, he came up in June of 2023, but I don't know if that counted as his rookie year.
No, I think then last year was his rookie year.
Okay. But either way, I just think he needs to obviously stop striking out as much. Easier said than done, but just get the average of it. If he can be a 260, 270 hitter, great. I'll take that all day, every day.
He's 23 too. You got to remember.
Yeah.
But also, he's hitting 251, which these days is a pretty decent average.
Okay, that's gone up since last I checked. Last I saw it was like 242 or something.
No,
but
he's already at 38 RBIs too. If he hits 100 RBIs this year.
Oh, I'm not saying he's having a bad year, but he's not at that level of hype that I expected from him. Maybe I put too much of it on him.
I mean, if you have a 2060 year, your first. I guess that was technically his rookie year last year.
Mm-hmm.
Then I feel like that's kind of hype, you know.
Yeah,
I think he's gonna. Regardless, I think he's gonna be fine. I think he's gonna be fine.
Yeah,
Might not be a
3 years from now. He's still hitting 240. Then we'll talk.
Yes. Which is crazy that we have to think of baseball in those terms. We grew up in the Sean Casey days. He's hitting 309 every fucking year.
Don't get me started. I hate that.
I know you hate it, and I
240
get
is now like
it.
okay, he's all right. 240.
some dude came up on the Royals today, and he was hitting 280, and I was like, this guy's got probably like one of the best hitters.
I
in the league.
know. I see that. This is when I was looking at the Cubs line. I'm like, damn, 280. He's running for MVP. Like, no. It shouldn't be like that. But that's
baseball has changed.
My old school ways of thinking.
No,
I
I
guess.
get it. I mean, we grew up with hitters. We grew up with people who were hitting for average. They weren't necessarily the best players, but they were hitting 3 times out of 10 every year.
Yeah, and even like the bad play, like the 7, 8, 9 guys in the lineup were hitting like 250, 260.
Yes,
it was weird.
The Mendoza line means nothing these days. Like people say, "Oh yeah, he's below the Mendoza line." It's like, okay, people have made a whole fucking career off that by now. Like,
yeah, look at Joey Gallo.
Schwarber. Yeah, well, Gallo's trying to pitch now, right?
Yeah.
But when he wasn't, he was always hitting like 200, but he'd have 35 home runs.
Yes.
It's like they're paying him for the home runs. They don't give a shit about his strikeouts.
Kyle Schwarber, same dude. He's like he was hitting like 196 a couple of years ago, and he was like his walks were high and his home runs were high, and they were like, great, you're doing a great job, bro. And his
well, look at his postseason stats. That guy hits a home run. I think he's like, I don't know if he's the only player, but he's like the player that I know that has hit a home run in like every single series, like wild card through World Series. He has a home run in every series. He just crushes in the playoffs. But going back to like the home run thing, like we could go into analytics. Analytics ruin the game because teams don't care if you strike out. They actually prefer if you strike out than if you hit the ball and play and get out, because there's a bigger chance of you hitting into a double play and making 2 outs instead of just striking out and just being 1 out.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I think the games that have suffered the most from analytics. I mean, yes, analytics are helpful. They're I don't want to
immensely helpful.
I don't want to be like a boomer about this, because they're helpful and they're going to help you win baseball games, and there's a push and pull with playing that analytics.
But does it make the game fun?
No.
And entertaining to watch?
I mean, I guess it just depends. I don't know.
Like
if you benefit from it, then
like
yes.
say this. Do you think the Reds, this team, is fun to watch?
No.
Do you think this is a boring team?
Yeah, I think it's a pretty boring team.
Say they were 7 games over 500 playing the same way right now. You'd say they're a boring team, right?
I mean, boring versus flashy.
If they're 7 games above 500, they're obviously playing more exciting baseball, I feel like.
I don't know. Like, say a couple of those 1-0 losses went our way and we won those games. Like, they weren't fun games. Like, say we squeaked out a sac fly and won 1-0. I don't know. It's just I'd want to win more than having an entertaining team to watch. But like, I always go back to the 2019 season.
Of course,
they lost.
We do talk about that a lot.
We do, but it was just because they lost, but they were just so fun to watch. Yeah. Like, obviously, you want to combine the two and have a team that wins that's fun to watch. But I don't know where I'm going with this. It's just
whatever. Yeah.
To me, they're just they're a boring team. Is what I'm just trying to say.
I think they're a team. I think a part of that has to do with that we don't have like an identity. I think maybe it's analytics. We just don't have an identity.
Yeah, we don't have that roster of players that we did in 2019 that were like, they weren't players, they were characters in your favorite
or even
show.
2021. 2021 with Castellanos. Like, God, he's like one of my favorite non-Reds players right now. He's just his personality, the way he plays the game. Yeah. He's got that dog in him.
I mean, I think that's what it really comes down to. And John, you hit on this before about leadership. There's no clear leader on the team. Jonathan India, who was probably going to be the next guy in line, is playing for the Royals right now. So yeah, I mean, there's no real identity. Ellie has his swagger. Ellie has his thing, but he's not really hitting right now. I mean, I guess he's not hitting that poorly either, but there's just no like Joey Votto.
Yeah.
There's no Barry Larkin. There's no.
There are good players on this team, but there are not exceptional players at this moment.
Mm-hmm.
You could say that was Hunter Green. And it sucks that he had a little injury stint when he did and kind of derailed him from having such a strong start to this season. But maybe barring him, there's not anyone who's really just like every time they come up to the plate or every time they're on the mound, all my attention is on them. This is not what's happening.
Yeah, but I
Yeah.
do like to watch Hunter Green games more than most.
Oh
Sure.
yeah, he's fun to
Yeah.
watch. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Again, he right now is maybe the exception to the rule, but we haven't seen him pitch a full game in a couple of weeks now, and
Yeah.
so it's tough to say. But we would need more than just Hunter Green to start picking it up.
Especially
Yeah,
in the
That would
lineup.
to make a fun team to watch. I mean,
Yeah.
if you're looking at those that Cubs roster, those guys at any point you could be saying like, this is a big at bat, or I trust this guy to hit a ball or to get an out.
Mhm.
I don't really feel that way about too many guys. Who do I trust at the plate the most? I don't know. It's Will Benson for a week. So who the fuck knows who is going to be the next? I
For
have no
me, it'd
idea.
probably be. Oh God, I'm drawing a blank on the guy we
Jose
got from the
Friedel.
Dodgers.
Gavin Lux or like
Gavin
Austin
Lux, yeah.
Hayes. It's either
Yeah.
those guys, but they are
Just
not like
crazy.
flashy. I think they're just
No.
like good players, and
They know how to.
those are good offseason snags for sure.
Yeah. Couple clicks for Nick Kroll.
Thank you, Nick Kroll, I guess. Working with your budget that you got.
As he leaned back, yeah, a couple of clicks, whatever.
Bro, whatever.
No
so
Pete
yeah,
Alonso, but
nope.
Yeah.
We can talk about that every day, bro. He's having a good year too. Mets, baby. Mets got to walk off Francisco Lindor sack fly. Mets.
Oh yeah.
Mets win against the White Sox.
Juan Soto, I just looked up his
Damn.
average. He's only hitting 230 right now.
Yeah, this is Juan Soto's worst year in his career right now.
Yeah, I thought he found his swing. What's going on?
He's not even bad, bro. Look at
I've been reading like reports and people talking on Twitter that like he's not happy on the Mets. Have you guys heard that?
Yes.
No.
Yes.
No, I want to hear why they think that.
I can't really speak too much on it, but he's just like, I think he was gonna do a mic'd up for like a Sunday night baseball game.
Yep.
In New York against the Yankees.
Yep.
And they were gonna talk to him about like Aaron Judge and he like backed out like the last second because he didn't want to like talk about the Yankees. And
who can blame him, man? Like you leave the Yankees, the biggest team in baseball, and you go to the Mets across the East River, and it's a sensitive thing. You were outbid. The Yankees were outbid, and you go to you play your former team in the Bronx. I think it was the Bronx, right? And you're gonna be mic'd up and talk about that shit, and talk about that. There's some bad blood there. So I don't know. I don't blame the guy. He's trying to jive with the Mets. Does he want to talk about Aaron Judge and talk about the Yankees? Everybody's booing him at Yankee Stadium. I wouldn't want to talk. I wouldn't want to be mic'd up for that shit either. It's a sensitive subject.
They're acting like he played there for 10 years.
And he's only there what, a year?
Yeah.
Started with Yankees fans, dude.
They're the worst.
I don't know. It's a story I'm going to keep my eye on because I'm curious.
I think there's nothing to it. I think that he's having. You're in a big series, the Subway Series. You're in the Bronx. You're playing against your former team. The broadcast is asking you to talk about Aaron Judge, to talk about what it's like to transition to a different New York team, and you haven't found your place.
He hasn't found his swing yet.
Yeah. So
he said he did. So I don't know what's going on with
that.
He's
I think he is a liar.
He's a .363 OBP. He's got .77 OPS. I mean, yeah, it's low for him, but
it's low for paying that if you're paying him $70 million a year.
But look at Francisco Lindor, who came to the Mets and just looked like shit his first year.
Yeah, but they're paying him half.
Regardless,
Mhm.
yes, but it takes a second. Like, I mean, we saw the same thing when the San Diego signed. I'm blanking. When San Diego did that,
Tatis, Juan Soto. I
no,
mean, Soto played for
it was
Padres.
no, it wasn't Soto. Who's the other dude they signed? That one trade deadline.
Oh, Manny Machado.
No, it wasn't Machado because he's been there for a long time. Whatever. What I'm trying to say is
Uh,
like when you transition to different teams, like it's not always just going to be like, it takes these are people and individuals who are going to like have to adapt to that. So I think Soto's going to be fine. I don't think any of this rumor shit I'm not giving it any credence. We're kind of getting beyond the
It's just
Reds
for
right now.
clicks.
I think it's just for
Yeah,
clicks.
maybe.
Yeah.
We're
But you
just
know
a
who
baseball
hasn't needed
podcast.
that? You know who hasn't needed to adjust at all is Otani, or really
Well,
like
he's an
anyone on the
alien.
Dodgers.
He's a step above. He's a step
He's an
above.
alien.
And he should be banned from baseball because he bet on baseball. So.
Well, he's no longer the
Him and-
highest paid player in
and
baseball.
Ipe.
So I mean,
You think Ipe gets to stream Dodgers games from his cell?
I mean, he's probably in a really cushy jail cell. Is he in jail right now?
I don't know. I would assume so.
I don't want to get into it too much, but that shit was sketchy as fuck. That whole scenario, like what? And it was all.
Were you kind of like hoping Otani was gonna get busted for that, or was that just me?
I wasn't hoping. He's like the best player in baseball.
I get that,
He's
but it
a
would have just
legend.
been
He's
like
gonna be a legend.
amazing. It would have been like a groundbreaking news story in baseball. Like, holy shit, the face of baseball, the best player we've seen
yeah.
in like what 50 plus years gets busted. Like, would the we don't even we shouldn't even go into this.
Stephen A.
Let's just-
Smith would be thrilled. I know that much.
I was gonna say, like, would Major League Baseball like suspend him or ban him from baseball? Like, he's their biggest moneymaker. They'd be in like a huge pickle. Or would they let it slide?
It would have to be so.
Or would they blame it on his interpreter? Is that what you're saying?
Exactly.
The story just doesn't make any sense, really. I mean, maybe it does because, like, I guess these interpreters, from what I've been like, how I've read about it, is like they do have access to a lot of your personal details. So maybe as a gambling addict, he was withdrawing a bunch of money from his account and just saying, like, as Otani's a multi-billionaire, he's like, he's not looking at his finances or stewing over all that, on a daily basis. So there is a plausible scenario where this actually did happen. But the way MLB treated it and how quickly that story just sort of fizzled out is what makes me go like, what?
Yeah. You think they swept some things under the rug?
I mean, I think that we don't know all the details. I'm not going to say that Shohei did bet on baseball.
I don't think he did.
But there's definitely details we don't know about, and that will never reach the public eye.
Mhm.
I'm not saying that he's guilty of anything, but
Yeah. I'm just saying I was kind of hoping that he would be a little more involved.
You're sadistic, bro.
How
be
boring
so
would that be
crazy.
now? It would have been fun for that week, but now it's just like, oh, remember that one guy who like changed the game and did.
Remember the
things that-
greatest baseball player ever
Yeah.
is not in the game anymore?
You know what?
That's
At this point, who gives a fucking shit, man? We got all of our FanDuel broadcasting our games. Like, who gives a fuck? Like we said,
I hate that so much.
the integrity of the
Despise
game.
it.
We don't have to act like we're protecting baseball. Like, fuck you. Like, just let them jack off on the field.
Yeah. I think every player should bet on some like parlay happening.
Why not?
And then the whole game, they don't care about winning. They just want to hit this parlay.
Yeah,
that'd be awesome.
I mean, yeah, or maybe you establish like a MLB only pool where they can only bet within the established MLB like betting closed like circuit or whatever. So you have to like only bet within the league's confines and stuff like that. So you can throw up some money whenever you want. And,
well, they should just keep gambling out of sports, but whatever.
You know,
not gonna happen.
what? You should check up the money line coming up on Royals versus Reds tomorrow. Maybe you can win some Buco Dolores. Hey, this is a family podcast.
You know what I'm doing is I'm betting against the Reds coming up against the next series with the Cubs. I don't feel good about that.
You're
Not
betting
feeling
against
good.
the Reds? You know, I don't even care.
I could never do that.
I don't
never do
bet.
that.
I don't sports bet. So
You don't throw a
bet-
dollar every once in a while?
I
Yeah.
don't think I have any money in my account right
I
now.
bet my last 52 cents, so I'm done.
Do you need help? Do you need us to send you some rent money?
Ben,
No, I put $5 onto that bet 365 for the free 150. I think 150 or 200.
Mhm.
And I never used the money. I came back to the app a week after I did that, expecting to have like $200 in there because I bet and won, so they gave me $200, and it wasn't there. Like they just took the $200 away. Like if you bet it in a certain amount of time, it's just gone.
Got to read the fine
So
print.
I was like, okay, well that was a terrible. Like it was so dumb. So I had $5. I think I bet like $4.50 or something like that. Lost it, and then bet another 50 cents and lost.
Would you bet the Pacers would win Game 3?
No.
Go basketball.
Why would I bet the Pacers to win Game 3?
Go Knicks. Let's go Knicks.
I think I bet on I don't know, something, hockey or something.
Yeah,
All
something
right.
that didn't work out.
Yeah.
So don't go
Clearly.
to Ben for your betting advice.
He hates betting, but he's betting. So
Yeah.
riddle me that.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I
It
also
seems like a liar.
Missouri.
Like Juan Soto.
Juan Soto can.
he said he found a swing, but clearly has not found
He
a swing.
did. And that was like a month ago. What happened?
I mean, it would be kind of funny to see him tank for the rest of his career, but I think he's going to be fine.
Yeah, no,
Could you imagine he's like a
Get him on the
one more
Reds.
player for like the next 10 years?
Hey, he's 1.6 right now. So
Okay, he'll finish around like 5.5, 6.
I mean, he's having a Jonathan India year right now.
Wow. And he's getting paid $70 million.
Not bad.
That's
not
what you do.
bad.
I mean,
Not a bad way to make a living.
No, I would love that. I wouldn't give a shit about how well I performed at that point.
It's
like, yeah, I would want to get a hit, but to what
He has
end?
38 career WAR, and he's like 26 or
26.
something.
He can go like 0 for 70 and go home and just be like, yeah, whatever. I'm living life.
He hasn't done the Soto shuffle on the Mets yet, I don't think.
I saw that. Yeah, that's weird.
That's
No.
crazy.
He's not feeling confident. Can you imagine doing that little?
That's what's built. That's what builds his confidence. That's what's going to scare the opposing pitcher.
Mhm.
Shout out to the Beachwater Park, Mason, Ohio.
Yeah, no one's afraid of him right now because he's too short. I think is his problem.
Isn't he like 6'2" or something?
I was thumbsing up Mitch's for the Spotify
Did you
listeners. I
see
was
that?
thumbsing up Mitch's water park shirt.
We need to get on
You got like a
Spotify.
little thumbs up emote when you did that. Did you see that?
What?
Yeah, look at that. Look at
Dude,
that.
Wait, really?
Dude,
John's
AI
doing that.
Did you not see it? Oh, that's crazy.
How did he do that?
John's doing it. He's got some alien technology.
No, it's because I have something out of Discord Prime.
All right, we're done here. Reds are 500.
No. Let's. What do you guys want to talk about?
No.
What else we got?
I don't got
How
any.
long is this episode?
Hour and 10 minutes.
Damn! Oh my god, it flew by.
I thought whenever I think we're gonna have a shorty, it's longy.
Yeah,
You know.
sure is there. But
Closing thoughts?
yeah, Mitch, go ahead, take it away.
Offensive production looking a lot better for the last 3-4 games. Bullpen sucks. Reds under 500. This is a team that is boring, but we might be at a turning point, boys.
I think it's only gonna, if I'm being realistic, it'll likely only go downhill from here, unless we hit a good run there. But I mean, what am I supposed to say? Like, no, we'll get better. No,
Yes, we will get better.
Every week where we have a great offense, the next week we don't. So unless I get proven otherwise, I'm gonna expect that from now on. So that's where I'm at.
Okay. Well,
I didn't hear a word you said. I was looking at
I heard.
Mitch's squish ball.
I heard. Ben.
Oh, closing thoughts. My favorite time of the day. Yeah, Reds we're at 500 again.
No, we're not.
Yeah, we're right there. We're on the cusp.
Cusp.
I like that word.
All
right.
for all right here.
For the NHL viewers in here, I know we got a couple. We got the Oilers game 4 tomorrow. They lead the series 2-1. Big one on home ice. Let's take a commanding 3-1 lead and end this shit in game 5.
Okay.
Yeah. That's all I got.
Cincinnati played one of the worst teams in the league yesterday, and they
Atlanta?
lost. Yes.
See, I pay attention.
How'd you know that?
I check their scores.
Sunday night soccer, dude. It was a big matchup. They're doing this thing. Apple's doing this thing, Sunday night soccer. That's new this year to promote, I guess, watching the exclusive games. And the defense by Cincinnati was terrible. And Atlanta has a record signing in MLS, $22 million for this player. He broke the rib of Cincinnati's defender, Nick Hagland, by just running into him. And some people say he punched him. So the record signing for Atlanta broke his rib and it punctured Nick's lung. Fell on the pitch and he had to get some medical. Atlanta fans say that he's a pussy and they booed him when he got up. And and it was unpunished. There was no yellow card. There was no red card. Everybody's
based Atlanta fans.
Nick Hagland is a gem, dude. He's from Cincinnati. He's a Xavier alum. Xavier
Don't give a shit.
Cincinnati.
Dude,
he punctured his lung. Okay.
Yeah, Nick could handle
whatever.
Nick couldn't handle it, but Ben could.
Nick is a champ. We wish him well. That's my corner of the sports. Champions League finals coming up on Saturday. Inter Milan versus PSG, John's favorite team.
I don't give a shit. I'll be there on Wednesday though. Wednesday night, Cincinnati
Dallas,
FC.
that's a Wednesday night game.
Yep, I'll be there.
Okay.
So look for me on the old
the jumbotron.
Yeah, I'll be there in the jumbotron. I'll be right next to the guy with the clackers.
Oh my god, are you in the Bailey?
No, I'm not in the Bailey, but I will be on the 100 level. So
that was annoying to do that.
Look out for me.
What's his name? Pedro.
Yeah, Pedro.
Listen, this is our segment called Other Sports, right? We're doing this.
Quick hits.
Huh? Quick hits. Quick pitch.
Quick pitch. Yeah.
That's
already a name. They have a quick pitch on MLB Network.
Who gives a fuck?
The whole show is called Quick Pitch.
We can do whatever we want.
We're quick
hits.
Anarchy.
Quick, hitting the ball. Quick hits.
Yeah. Choke up.
Quick. No, it should be, but it has to allude to the other things we're talking about, like other sports.
Yeah. Around the quick hitting around the horn.
Yeah.
Around the horn. That's a good.
Yeah. Let's use that one. Yeah.
They don't exist anymore, so
they don't.
I don't think.
I feel like that show's been running around for years, and I don't know about it.
I love that show. It's great.
You know who I don't care about?
What?
The TNT basketball crew, like Shaq and Charles.
What?
You kidding me?
Dude, there's only one podcast I watch.
Hilarious every time.
There's only one podcast I watch, and it's Spit and Chicklets. It's a hockey podcast. And they have, huh?
You said wadcast, I think.
Did I? It's probably just my wonky headphones.
No, it was you.
No, it was not.
Okay.
Anyways, they had Charles Barkley on the podcast, and he's hilarious. Even though he's really funny. Yeah. He was drunk the whole time, and he told the same story 6 times. It was really funny.
I mean, have you ever seen that video of him using fake weights to outlift Shaq? And Shaq's just looking over there the whole time, like, how are you doing that? And Charles Barkley's just like, that's just what I'm good. I'm strong. I told you. And Shaq, whenever Shaq will cheat in every like little game that doesn't matter. He cheated in Hot Ones when they had a free throw competition with like wads of paper. And he's like, oh, I'll just walk over and put it in there. Shaq wins. Shaq wins. But if someone cheats him, he gets so pissed. It's hilarious. If someone makes fun of him a little bit, I think he got called Shrek once on that TNT show. He was not happy about it. He was absolutely furious. It's so funny.
I love Shaq.
Oh yeah, he's the greatest.
Whatever.
Not basketball, but Shaq's a dime.
He's a general commercial actor.
Yeah, and he's got a great pizza too.
The best car rates in town.
All right, turn this podcast off.
Listen, will Jonathan India hit a home run against his former team this series? Go.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, 2 yeses. I say yes
All
too.
right, turn this shit off.
All right, who day, everybody?
Uday, baby.
Uday.